What's up, y'all? It's Inked Farmer back with another how-to video. The parts that I'm gonna need for this, I got 4 half-inch flanges. I got 4 3/4-inch flanges. Those are the circles there up there in the corner. I got 4 3/4-inch by close is what they're called. They're basically about like a 1-inch black pipe, all threaded. 4 3/4-inch caps, 4 half-inch couplings that you can see. I'll show you up close there. There's couplings. There's 4 3/4 to half-inch reducers. There's 8 half-inch by 8-inch black pipe, 4 3/4-inch by 6-inch black pipe. You can see I got the wood here. It's a 1 by 12 by 12 pine board. I've already cut into 2 12-inch pieces. As you can see, everything is already stained and painted. And to drill these holes, I used a 1.5-inch wood boring drill bit. You'll see what that drill bit looks like momentarily, but first off, I'm going to take these 3/4-inch flanges and use them as guides to draw the holes that I'm going to use that drill bit for. I'm messing around with a new microphone today that I got, so I'm hoping that this will be slightly less cringy. So anybody who knows me pretty much knows that talking is not my strong suit. Neither is my suit, and if you caught that reference, we can definitely be friends. So obviously you're going to do that on all 4 corners. Upon further review, I actually used a 1 1/8 inch drill bit, and I'm absolutely not going to go back and re-record that. So this is definitely the most challenging part of this project. And honestly, it's not really all that challenging as long as you clamp the wood down, which I have a bad habit of just doing whatever, and then the wood just spins in circles. But clamp it down and that drill bit will just rip right through it. The best way to build this would be from the bottom up. So we're going to take our caps and 3/4-inch by 6-inch pipes and just screw the cap into one end. Obviously you're going to do that 4 times. And is it 11:11 yet? Because I need to wish for a less stupid voice. After that, grab the 3/4-inch flanges and the 3/4-inch closes and times 4 again, right? Just screw them right in there. If you haven't noticed, pretty much everything is, going to be times 4. I know your attention span ended 2.5 minutes ago, so I'm mostly talking to myself, but I'm going to try to edit this down as much as possible to save my own time. So now that we got those ready to go, we're going to take the bottom shelf. This is the top of the bottom shelf. We're going to slip over top and take our reducers 3/4-inch side down. Obviously, that's the only way it's going to work. Put all 4 of those in. If you happen to be into unks with gray beards, hit me up. And it doesn't have to be super tight, just a little bit snug. It's alright if it's a little bit loose at this point, because once we screw those flanges in, then that's going to provide the stability that we're looking for. Alright, at this point we can just flip this thing over and put our legs on that we had previously put together. And we're pretty much got this thing about 1/3 of the way built already. Like I mentioned earlier, there's not really any need to over tighten this right now. Just snug, hand tightened, slightly loose in case we need to adjust it later on. At this point we can flip it over. You might find that it's a little wobbly at this point. That's no big deal. Once we screw the flanges in, like I said, that's going to make a big difference. So now we're going to use our 8-inch pipes. We're going to take 4 of the 1/2-inch by 8-inch pipes and go ahead and fit those into the reducers. Hand tighten everything. No big deal if it's a little bit wobbly at this point. Okay, moving on to the couplings. These are going to work as kind of a decorative transition between the two 6-inch pipes instead of having one long piece. And so basically, after you have those couplings in, just take the second set of 4 and they're going to go right on top. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, as they say. Well, somebody says it. I think that might be the first time I've ever said it. I've heard it before, but we'll take our final 4 flanges, the 1/2-inch flanges, and they're going to go in the top. Obviously, as you can see, you have eyeballs. Once you made it this far, we want to go ahead and snug everything up, make it nice and snuggly. It's still going to be a little wobbly, of course, until we screw everything all together, but nothing to worry about at this point. And damn, those tattoos are sick. All right, I'm done admiring myself for the moment. The only thing that stops me is a mirror. Put the top shelf face down. Take what we put together so far on top. So basically the end table is going to be upside down. And then we can go ahead and screw in the flanges. The screws that I used are 8 gauge and 3/4 inch long. You don't want to use anything longer than that because it'll poke through the wood. You really only need probably 2, maybe 3 per flange. You know, even with 1 in there, it's not going to go anywhere. If you stuck around this long, I greatly appreciate it. I don't know how you were able to listen to my voice for this long. I don't think my 11/11 wish came true. I still sound pretty stupid. Once you're done with the 1/2-inch flanges, go to the second level, or in this case, it'll be the bottom level, and do the same thing with the 3/4 inch flanges. Then you will be officially 99% complete with this project. All that's left is to tighten up those caps and legs and figure out where it's going to go. Once you get this thing on level ground, you might be like, bruh, this thing sucks, it's all wobbly. No need to worry. All we got to do is adjust the feet, loosen one up, tighten one up, whatever you need to do. And there you have it. Minimalist, farmhouse, whatever you want to call it, little end table. I like to keep my little speaker on it so I can listen to some heavy metal. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time.